Wonder Woman 1984, it was supposed to be released earlier this year, but due to the pandemic, it was delayed very much, and until it was just released in Malaysia. You can now watch it in some selected theaters. And of course, there's TV box, so just stay tuned for that. So as you can guess from the title, I didn't really enjoy Wonder Woman 1984. And it's not to say that it's a horrible movie like Justice League or Batman v Superman.
Why did you say that name?
It's just unengaging, and I'll get to that later on. So before we get into that, I would like to talk about the things I like about the movie first. As the sequel title suggests, Wonder Woman 1984 takes place in the 80s. I have to say that the production setting in the movie was very well done. Everything feels very 80s, and you can just see them in their glorious 80s fashion. Oh man. Gal Gadot returning as Diana Prince and also known as Wonder Woman is still fantastic here. You cannot get a better casting choice. Chris Pine also returned as Steve Trevor in the movie. At first I thought it would undermine his death in the first movie, but apparently they found a way to kind of bring him back in the sequel. I really liked how the role was switched, because in the first movie Diana was kind of like the frog out of the well, seeing the world as the first time. But now in this sequel, when Steve Trevor came back and seeing how technological advancement has been throughout the years, he was just in awe. I think Chris Pine had a lot of fun doing this role, and you know, it's a role reversal switch with Diana. So besides Gal Gadot and Chris Pine, the other two prominent characters in the movie is none other than Kristen Wiig, who plays as Barbara Minerva as Cheetah, and you have Pedro Pascal, who played the Mandalorian, which I just revealed recently. He is Maxwell Lord. That's an awesome name. What can I say? Comics, right? Awesome name. It's also worth mentioning about the young actress Lily Espo. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. She played as the young Diana Prince in the opening sequence of this movie, and I have to say that's probably one of the best sequences in the movie. And what makes it even more amazing is that young Lily here, she did all the stunts by herself, riding a horse, shooting arrows on a horse, throwing the spear, the acrobatics stunts, just amazing stuff. And I think there is a bright future for this young lady here. Great stuff. So other than that, yeah, that's pretty much it. Despite the production value and the casting choices, which the actors and actresses did a good job on their acting role, unfortunately, I find myself pretty bored most of the time throughout the movie. I couldn't keep my focus watching it. I was playing my phone, replying messages. Like, I really wanted to focus, but it was just really boring. Thinking back, one of the main problems is probably the script writing. The pacing of this movie is really draggy, especially when they introduced Barbara, who was this clumsy woman. She's pretty invisible in the workplace. I didn't thought about it much at first. It really reminded me of Electro from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, who was played by Jamie Foxx. It's just exactly the same. They get no respect in the workplace, and when they got their superpowers, they start to abuse it, and you know, it's like, yeah, this is my revenge. I did a quick YouTube search about Barbara Minerva, and you know, if you compare her comic counterpart with this movie version, I think the characteristic is just pretty drastic, I would say. I think if anything, they should have probably focused more on Maxwell Lord, because he is a con artist. This businessman has no superpower. Then you have this magic rock that comes into the picture, which I think is also a problem. Be careful what you wish for. It's a pretty common movie theme that we've seen throughout the years. It's nothing new, and it kind of contradicts with the opening sequence, which I just talked about. We learned that Diana Prince did not win this some sort of Olympic contest, and I'm paraphrasing here, but you know, you just can't cheat to achieve greatness. I just can't really find the connection between these two. Although they try to connect these two messages at the end of the movie, it's not a solid argument. I think that's probably one of the main problems of the movie, that's why it's so draggy. They should have just chose one theme. Either you go with this not cheating for greatness, or be careful what you wish for. Speaking of be careful what you wish for, there's actually another logic problem that I find. For one is when Steve Trevor came back, he was actually stuck in another person's body. Normal people around him, they see him as just another random guy. But to Diana, all she sees is Chris Pine. So all this time, Diana has been making out with a random guy with Steve Trevor's soul in it. But the thing is, why didn't the wishing stone just brought back his body back as well? I mean, it's inconsistent because throughout the movie, whatever the people wish for, it happened. It's immediate. And then for Barbara's case, she wished to be like Diana. And for some reason, she managed to get a second wish. From what I understand in the movie, people who already wish cannot grant a second wish. When she talked to Maxwell about wishing to be an apex predator, she didn't even touch him. I thought you needed to touch the person, then your wish will be granted, right? And before I did this video, I was doing a quick search on the list of apex predators, and I know this is based on Cheetah, who is one of Wonder Woman's arch nemesis. Surprisingly, the Cheetah is not even considered one of them. I saw the golden eagle, lion, tiger, the great white shark, you have the Komodo dragon. I'm actually fine with Cheetah's look and design in the movie. The climatic fight between Wonder Woman and Cheetah at the end is pretty bad. It was short-lived, not memorable, and you know the golden armor that you see in the trailer, like, yeah, that didn't do much at all. Also, this movie is about 2.5 hours long. I got so relieved when it ended. Turns out that there was a mid-post-credit scene, and it showed that Linda Carter, if you know her, she was the first Wonder Woman who was portrayed in a TV series back in the early 70s, I believe. She made a cameo in this scene and she played as Asteria, who was mentioned throughout the movie. So if you enjoyed Wonder Woman 1984, good for you, but unfortunately it didn't work for me. But what do you think about the movie? Let me know down in the comments below. Until then, see you guys next time.